Good morning, and thanks for making ekaboom.tv part of your morning routine.
I'm Ruben, and this is Joan Romero, and today we're going to talk about do 9 out of 10 businesses fail and what that means for you.
All right, so let's get down to business. So, do 9 out of 10 businesses fail?
Well, that's a good question because you'll hear often this quoted that 9 out of 10 businesses fail. And the truth is that that's not really accurate. It's actually about 50% of businesses that fail after about 4 or 5 years, which is still a lot. 50%
You have a
is still a lot.
50-50 chance if you go into business that you'll still be there in 5 years.
Yeah, you'll still be there in 5 years. You have a 50% chance of that, but it does go down the longer the time period goes. So as you go on to more like 20 years, the rate can go down maybe as far as 25-30%, but it never gets out down to 10% of businesses actually surviving. But you know putting those statistics aside, what does that mean for you? If you have a business, if you run a business, or you're thinking about starting a business, what does that mean for you? And let's just say 9 out of 10 businesses did fail.
So, I think what that meant for us was even early on when we got married, we had always played with the idea of starting a business. But then when it became serious, like we're going to start a business, um, we thought, okay, we need to be willing and ready to start 10 businesses to have at least one succeed.
Right. So a lot of people think, oh, 9 out of 10 businesses fail, so I'm not even going to start a business. My chances, my failure rate is so high. Our thought was, oh, okay, so if 9 out of 10 businesses fail, we have to make statistically, we only have to create 10 businesses until one succeeds and one actually makes money. And I think the statistics that are out there that say 9 out of 10 businesses fail, it may be actually 9 out of 10 because there's statistics out there that are they don't things that they don't take into consideration, like did I start a business in my garage that I didn't tell anyone about and that fell through? Or did I start sort of 5 or 6 businesses before I got to one that kind of worked? Or, did I try different things under the same business name that didn't work? Did I try different websites or do something different that didn't quite work, but I never quite called it a business, or I never quite, did that? So in that sense, it may be. And actually, I think at one point we counted the different things that we had started and we had tried, and it was probably about 10 different things that we had done before we started finding things that worked. And I've talked to a couple other businesses that had only been around for 5 years, so they can still kind of remember when they started. And they had said the same thing, that there were probably about 10 things that they had tried that didn't work until they found something that actually started working. Now, that may be all under the same business, it may be in a similar field, but I think the key point isn't that whether 9 out of 10 businesses fail. We can argue that, and we can say, well, the statistics say different, and that's fine. Like, let's say it's 50%. Okay, fine. Well, that means you only have to create
Two.
five.
Well, two. If
Two.
it's a 50-50 chance that it works.
Oh yeah, I guess
Right?
you're right.
Or is it a 50-50 chance every time you start one that one's going to work or that one's going to work?
Yeah, you're right. I guess you would only need to start 2 businesses in order to see if that works. So that's great news. That's great. You go out and start 2 businesses, and maybe not at the same time. But if one doesn't work out, your second one, statistically speaking, you're going to hit it out of the ballpark.
I would caution against that though.
Again, this show is for entertainment value only. Use our advice at your own risk.
Yeah, because you're saying it doesn't have to be a bad thing. It can just be useful information that you can use if you're starting out, and you can say, okay, if they say 9 out of 10 fail, then we'll just plan for it.
Plan for 10 businesses. If they say 50% of businesses fail, plan on 2 businesses. Whichever statistic you believe, it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you're willing to, at the extreme level of saying I've got to create 10 businesses before one's going to work, if you're willing to do that, then you should be a business owner. And
You've got the grit.
and
to
if
do it.
you're honestly, if you're only willing to start 2 businesses to see if one, I don't know if you're ready. It's when you're ready to create 10 and to get one that works, then you're ready to go into business for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, so for us, like when we were in the daydreaming phase, we'd look at real estate and think, oh, this would be a great tea shop or a great whatever.
Right, now those don't count as a business.
No,
Daydreaming does not count.
No. But then when it became real, it's like, we can't, because we had already priced out, well, how much would it cost to get furniture and get the inventory? And we had gone to local business meetings where we were learning to write a business plan and how to get financing. But then when it came down to it, we're like, we tried. Like, we tried to come up with our business plan and look into talking to banks and stuff. And we said, you know what? Why don't we go online where we can just learn? Okay, well, first of all, how do you get a domain? And how do you build a website? And how do you make money from websites? And what does that look like? And we could learn to do a lot of that ourselves. And we could do it cheaply. And we could start 10 or more. You know, so we started buying domains. Then I think the transition for me was over time, we lost track of how many domains we owned. We were like, I don't even know.
I have over 100.
And then I got to the point where I didn't even know how many businesses we had started. It's like, wait, how many?
How many different things have we tried?
But then it's like, okay, but
them.
what have we actually gone to the county and registered as a DBA or an LLC? Okay, that I can keep track of. That I know that number. So you go through these growing phases. But anyway, that was the path we decided to take was.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a good path. If you're thinking about a business and you're thinking about starting something, you know, even if you're thinking about something that isn't generally online, it's a great idea to test the waters online. There's a lot of cheap ways of getting immediate statistics, and not just statistics like you survey somebody, but you could actually see if someone's going to buy something. Like you could set up a page that offers you know, something to buy, and then when they click on it, it says, hey, you know, this is actually not available, or it'll be available soon. Please sign up for a notification so you can get it. You can get it as soon as it's available, or you can send them to a page that says, hey, you know, we'd like to offer this to you, and even get their credit card information and stuff, and be able to offer something to someone at a future date. But you can get great statistics offline, send some ads to it, to really find out not just if people say they want it, but if they're willing to actually pull out their credit card and say, okay, I'm willing to buy this, before you actually get into business and start investing real money and getting into debts and all those kinds of things. So it's a great way to start, to test the waters. And it's a great way to start. If you're really thinking about 10 businesses, a domain is between $10 and $20 a year. Web hosting is, you know, maybe $10 to $20 a month, and you know, you could be up and running and making 10 businesses, you know, within a few weeks. I wouldn't recommend doing them all at once. Try one at a time. Work really hard.
You got to
see if it
learn
works.
from each one and then start again.
Right.
Unless your business is to own 10 businesses,
Yeah,
you need
still.
to be willing to start 100 businesses.
Start one at a time. One at a time. One at a time.
Yeah.
Especially if you're ADD like me, if you have too many at the same time, you're going to be all over the place.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, good point.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, thanks for subscribing, liking, and commenting. Share below what you think.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
So I think the thing about 9 out of 10 businesses failing, I think people take that the wrong way, because what you can do is, you know, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to see if I could finish your sentence.
Okay,
Like,
good job.
Were you going to say, like, plan for it?
Yeah,
Like plan?
Yeah, absolutely. You can just plan for it. I don't know if that was what I was going to say, but that works. You can totally plan to have your business fail.